Welcome to Turn Extension, a supplemental podcast for the Advanced Maneuvers YouTube channel.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Turn Extension. I am Tony, or Polar Bear Cub on the forums.
Hey everybody, it's Cutthroat Cure, Devin Marr in real life. So one of the things before we start our cast I wanted to go over with is let everybody know that Privateer Press is going to be continuing the efforts that they do every year, where they do the breast cancer awareness events. So one of the things that all of our listeners should definitely do is look around and talk to your local PG and see if they're going to be running a breast cancer brawl event, because all of the funds go to support and help with the Macmillan Fund, which helps with cancer awareness and prevention, and as well as trying to find a cure. And it's just an all-around good event. Wouldn't you say, Tony?
Yep, it is a great event. So definitely reach out to your local press gangers, find out if they're running any events, and like Devin said, Privateer Press is doing a lot to help support it. So it's all good stuff all around.
Another really cool thing about it is this year that there will be, tell them about the cards, Tony.
Yeah, all right. So in years past, what Privateer Press has done to help kind of promote the breast cancer brawl is they've released pink cards, and they're special edition cards for the breast cancer awareness. And this year, they are doing the exact same thing. They're going to be giving out 24 cards to anyone who is going to be running the events. And these 24 cards are all of the casters from the battle boxes, their front and back cards. So it's their actual card and the spells card that has their feet on it. So, for instance, it's all the brand new battle boxes. So for Signaret's Maddox, and just along that line. For Convergence, I know it's Syntherion, and I know for Minions, it is Helga. I'm not sure who the Mercenary one is, though. So that's the only one that I think I just can't remember right now. But, and it's depending on the events and who the organizer is, it's going to be different ways to get that. I think some people are going to be doing Best of Your Faction. Other people are going to be doing random drawings. It's just a lot of good things. It's just to help promote the ability to really just to get more stuff out there to raise more money for the breast cancer brawl or breast cancer awareness.
So a really good event.
Yep.
So what are we doing today, Tony?
So we have a special guest on. I'd like to introduce everybody to Fort. So Fort, how you doing, man?
So far so good. Still learning this cast, so I'm sure something might come up.
Oh yeah, of course. So we are actually going to be interviewing you. So we did a getting to know cast earlier on, and we asked everybody, hey, what is the next person you wanted to hear about on the cast? And pretty much everybody said they wanted to hear about you for it. So that's why you get the pleasure of talking to Devin and I, and we get to find out more about what makes the Fort tick.
Lucky me and lucky you, I guess.
I know.
One would call this an official Fort report.
Awesome.
All right, so let's get started with the very first question. So, Fort, how long have you been playing Warmachine and Hordes?
That's kind of a tricky question. I first saw it at a game store when it first came out in Mark 1, and one of the employees there played it quite a bit. And I played one game with him and kind of wasn't too much into it. I wasn't really into miniatures at the time. And so I dropped it, and it dropped off my radar for a long time. And then a couple of friends of mine who actually no longer play the game, they kind of moved away and quit playing, talked me into joining a league that one of the local PGs around here was running. And I thought, what the hell, it's only $30-$40. I'll do it. And 5 years later, I own 6 factions, and it's been a good ride. So about 5.5 years, I guess.
Geez, 6 factions. What factions are they?
Well, I own all of Scorn, all of Circle, all of Signar, and every mercenary you can get your hands on. I own partial minions. I don't own all the minions casters, and I still am trying to get a squid, one of those octopus beasties, painted up. And let's see, which one am I missing? I'm missing one. Oh, and I own a few Retribution. The Retribution was given to me by one of those guys, one of those friends that I mentioned earlier that quit. they're in pretty bad shape, and very very few of them are painted. So I don't like playing with unpainted miniatures, so I haven't really even pulled them out of the box.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go in. We had a few of the viewers ask us a few questions to make sure that we asked you when we did this. So the first one I'm going to start with is Neil Rose says, Fort, your commentaries in videos are remarkably laid back. Are you like that when you're in the middle of a game?
Of course. I'm the most peaceful and pacific person you'll ever meet. Yeah, right. No, I definitely try to be better at controlling my temper. I mean, I come from Southwest Louisiana, Southeast Texas kind of family full of Cajuns, and everybody talks louder. Pretty much the loudest voice wins, and so I'm trying to moderate that. But sometimes my temper gets the best of me. I'm pretty grouchy, and I can be prickly and aggressive, especially when I feel like I'm kind of being unfairly treated. If we're playing a game and the person is not that I'm playing may do something that he thinks is completely fair, and I don't think so, and then I very rarely will back down from something, and that's a character flaw. I'm not easy to get along with, I guess. And I'm trying to change that, but it happens. I just hate to lose, damn it.
I mean, I think definitely, at least since we've been playing, I think it's, I don't know. I haven't seen it as bad. Maybe just because I don't know. I'm really bad at the game, so I just assume everything I'm doing is.
Yeah, I've been there and done that. I put in my dues, though, and I'm a bit better than I was when I first started, that's for sure.
I can definitely attest to that.
All right, so what brought you into the realm of nerdy and geeky that ended up bringing you here today?
I did it all for you, Tony.
Oh, really? All from the beginning?
All for you. My eyes been on you for a long time.
It's so kind of you. It's so kind.
No, I kind of, way back when I was in high school, I'm not going to tell you exactly how old I am, but D&D came out in this little tiny box when I was in high school, and it was just a few books. And one of my buddies, I think his mom actually bought it for him, and we started playing. After high school, I got to college, and I kind of quit gaming and got into the college thing. Then I joined the Navy, and I went to a school in Idaho while I was in the Navy, and a couple of guys there played World War II miniatures and a few board games. I kind of got into that. And then when I got out of school, I was in the Navy for real, and I just didn't have time to do anything. Got out of the Navy, went back to school, got a job, and started playing again. And then when I moved to Virginia in the early 90s, I found a game shop that just had a ton of people in there who were playing, and I was into Magic at the time. And one thing led to another, and pretty much my whole life I've been playing games on and off. So I'm not really sure what brought me into the hobby other than, I guess, D&D and that little tiny book.
Awesome. Very good. All right, Devin, you're up next.
All right, let's do another viewer question. So from Nico, and I'm going to butcher this last name, I know it, Neiman. Hello, Fort. As we have seen you playing Scorn in the channel, I would like to ask you, what is your opinion on the faction's current problems and how you would like to see them changed?
Wow, that's a huge question that I don't think we have time enough to answer. However, I just speaking with other Scorn players around the world, and in this meta and around the world, there definitely is a problem with Scorn. They seem to have lost focus, Privateer Press, and this is just an opinion, of course, but it's a fairly widely shared opinion. Privateer Press lost focus with Scorn. I think that they adjusted too much, and there were so many opportunities to fix a lot of the problems that Scorn had in Mark II, and it seems like that really none of the problems were fixed from Mark II, but more problems were added for the faction. The faction is a blast to play. I love seeing the models on the table. The Ferox are really good. Makita 2 with the Ferox, or Xerxes 1 with the Ferox, both are very, very good. But that's about it. I mean, the Gladiator is good, but everything else in the faction is and Tiberian, he's also really good. But everything else in the faction is kind of taking hits, and they're not being played because they're just not up to the standards of power that you need to put them on the table and have a chance to win in a tournament. A lot of examples could be given, both of the Dons. The Archidon was nerfed into oblivion. You're not going to ever see him on the table. I wouldn't play with him if he cost 6 points. He's just no good. Same with quite a few other models in Scorn. I think the topic has been beaten to death, and I don't want to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Hopefully Privateer Press will see the problem and take action, but we'll see. That's about all I want to say on that.
All right. Sorry. All right. So what is one of your best moments in this hobby?
Wow, there's just been so many. I guess winning my first Advanced Squad Leader World Championship. There's a thing called Oktoberfest, ASL Oktoberfest. It happens every Columbus Day weekend. It's been going on for like 35 years or so. And it's very prestigious. There people come from all over the world, kind of like the WTC, and play. And the competition there is fierce. It's a big deal to win that in the Advanced Squad Leader world. I'm sure that board games have taken a back seat to a lot of other things, console games and role-playing and what have you. But in my day, the board games were they ruled everything. The 80s and the 90s, board gaming was where the hobby was at. And winning that first championship, it was just something that I'd been working for a while, and I'm still pretty happy with it.
Awesome. So, you already kind of touched on this, but what do you think is your greatest weakness in this hobby?
Again, I lose my temper more often than I would like. And did we lose you too, Tony?
No, I'm here.
Okay, I just saw something click out, and I'm working on it. I think that I don't give my opponents plans as much thought and consideration as I should, and that's pretty much in my quest to win the game. I don't pay attention to their board state as much as I do. I'm constantly trying to plan my next move, so I don't react well to things that I don't foresee, I guess, or as well as I would like. I'm a very proactive person. I want the other person reacting to me at all times, and so when I get thrown a curve, it might take me a few minutes to set it up. And I'm not a big clock person. I forget to click it in half the time, so I end up costing myself there. But other than that, I think I do okay.
Nice. All right. Well, what about your biggest pet peeve? What is your biggest pet peeve just in this game whenever you're playing against somebody?
Unpainted miniatures, I guess.
Really?
I don't know, if you're going to spend the money on the lead, you might as well spend the time and put some paint on it. I don't even care what it looks like. It just needs to be not silver or not black or not white. It needs to be painted. It makes it easier for your opponent to distinguish between your models. It makes it easier for you to distinguish between your models. And it just looks better when you're playing. I mean, this is a visual experience as well as a mind experience. I mean, the mind wants to see visual stimulation, and that's what that is. I've always painted my miniatures, no matter what game I played. I mean, I played Napoleonics with a guy back in Arlington, Texas, Scott Bowden. He's a fairly famous guy in that arena, and all of his stuff was painted, and everything that I played had to be painted. So I kind of got in the habit there. But unpainted miniatures just turn me off big time. I don't even I don't really enjoy the game that much as I could have.
Okay.
I've even seen you rush to paint some models for a rather top level player at Nova Open, did I not?
Yeah, Tom Guan borrowed a pile of my models. I'm not sure what happened, how he showed up without the models to complete his list, but he needed 2 full units of Wolves of Ouroboros, both of the UAs, and a couple of other models. And I had all of the stuff painted. I just only had one. I had one full unit, and then one min unit of wolves is all I had painted. So Tom bought a pack of metal miniatures that they had here of the wolves, and I painted those in it took me about 20 minutes to paint them. It's a horrible job, but they were serviceable. They were enough to allow them to play in the Masters tournament and in the Iron Gauntlet tournament. But yeah, I mean, playing painted is just the way to go. I think Tom is using those in the WTC this weekend too.
He is. I thought that was so funny.
I thought he was on America's team. I'm not sure how that happened. He's on some little.
He's on Australia's team.
Southern Hemisphere minor island team. I'm not sure what the hell's up with that.
I think it's one of the sub-Australia teams, I think.
Well, I wish him well no matter what.
Yeah. So so it seems like all of the Scorn players weren't out there playing games and were just asking questions. So Jamie Rogers is the next person whose question I'm going to read, and I'm only going to read half of it because I don't feel like the second part of his question is going to meet our timeline. But his one question that I'm going to use is he wants to know what would be your two-list tournament pairing for Scorn right now, and we're just going to keep it to just casters if you had to choose two casters.
That's kind of rough. There's only really 4 casters that I enjoy playing in Scorn right now that I would play in a tournament. If I had to make it just 2, it's going to be Makeda 2, or Xerxes 1, and Naresh. I could throw Hexeris 2 and Rasheth in there somewhere, but if I only had to do 2, it would be one of those 2 pairings there.
Nice.
All right.
All right.
Oh, wait. Let me quote my question. Sorry. All right, next question. So, what is your all-time favorite faction?
When I did that Journeyman way back when, I actually wanted to play Scorn because I liked the idea of the big stumpy elephants. I saw a bronze back in a box there, and I really wanted it. But the game store didn't have any Scorn battle boxes. The only one they had in Hordes, in fact, was Circle, so I bought Circle. And I fell in love with Kaya 1. She just murdered everybody in that Journeyman. It wasn't even close. And I went from there to paint the entire faction in the time of that one Journeyman League. The next Journeyman League, of course, I did get Scorn. But I got to say Circle is probably my all-time favorite faction, followed very closely by Scorn. I know that's going to shock you and harm your personal well-being, Tony, but Signar is probably my 4th favorite faction.
Ouch. That hurts. That cuts me deep.
I know. That's why I almost didn't say anything. There you go.
I mean, Gary, you have been a long-time lover of trolls, too, right?
Oh, I love trolls. They're right next to Cricks as far as how much I love them.
So here's my question. If you could only play one caster, just one, for the rest of your time playing Warmachine and Hordes, which caster would you choose?
Mark II, Kruger 2.
Really? So any reason why? Just
I like everything he does. He was a total package. They hurt him pretty bad in Mark III. I would play Mark II Mordecai as well. Either one of those 2, but both of them seem a little less fun in Mark III. If I had to play a Mark III caster, probably Haley 2, maybe. Please don't kill me, everyone.
all right.
Haley
So
2.
yeah, I like Haley too. She's great. All right. So what about the faction that you are least likely to play?
Cricks, 0 chance.
Really? Never. Not even Mark II Cricks?
Not even Mark 16 Cricks. Never, ever, never. The only other faction that comes close is Trollblood. If they made a Trollblood Cricks faction, I would quit the game and probably move out of the country.
You heard it here, folks.
Damn.
Cricks Trolls 2017.
I'll be gone. I'm going to leave the continent. Screw the country, the continent. Hell, the hemisphere. Anyway, yeah, Trolls and Cricks. Ugh.
So, as some of the local players may know, but our viewers are not aware of, you are an avid Pokemon Go player. What is your Pokemon Go team?
I have 6 Pokemon Go accounts, 2 on each team. It's not my fault. Mystic is my highest level. I've got a level 30 Mystic guy, but I've got one of each faction that's in their 20s, and then one in each faction that's in their high teens. Yeah. I don't have much to do. What can I say? I'm retired.
So why do you have 6 accounts?
Well, there's several reasons. One is if I go to a gym that's loaded up with blue and I can't get into it with my blue guy, my red guy can take the gym down, and then I can put a blue guy in there.
Nice.
Or, whatever. There's lots of reasons to have all the teams. I have friends that play on all 3 teams, and so if we go around hanging out and want to go do stuff, take towers or whatever, then I'll just play whatever team matches up with what they play. Of course, I'll later go back and knock them all down with my blue guy.
Awesome.
So, what are your thoughts about being involved in the Great Bulbasaur Huzzah Hobby scandal?
What is that?
When people told certain players that there were Bulbasaurs aplenty at Huzzah, and not a single Bulbasaur was seen.
Sounds fishy. I don't know, or turtley or whatever. I've actually caught most of my Bulbasaurs at and around Huzzah. There's a university across the street. The campus kind of stretches around all over the place near there, and there are Bulbasaurs that spawn in all the little communities in the townhouses and everything all around there. I have let me check. I have 187 Bulbasaur candies right now, and almost all of that's been from Huzzah. So yeah, there's lots there. I'm not sure. Maybe it was some kind of repellent, West Virginia repellent. I mean, those West Virginia guys, they show up and the Bulbasaur's going to hiding. It's like they start hearing that banjo music and they got to hide.
All right. So Star Wars or Star Trek?
Firefly.
Damn, the third option.
I don't do either. I think Star Wars ruined movie making, and Star Trek never did anything for me. So Firefly is it, or Battlestar Galactica, the first Battlestar Galactica. But Firefly, yeah. No one burn me for that either, please.
We have another viewer question that popped up from a Gaston. Gaston asks, beards or goatees?
Real men grow beards. Pretenders grow goatees. That's all I got to say on that.
All right. Boxers or briefs?
Boxers.
Boxers all the way. What about
good enough for my granddad? Good enough for me.
All right.
If you, what is your current faction focus for 2016?
I really don't focus too much on a single faction. I mean, I tried that a couple times. I'm like the dog and Up or whatever it is, squirrel. Every time that I look at something cool or get a cool idea, I want to play that faction for that moment. But if I had to pick something, it's probably going to be Mercs and Signar. Signar first, Mercs next. If they ever fix Scorn, I'll probably go back to Scorn. I keep trying to play with Scorn, and I've had success with Scorn. My record with Scorn in Mark III is like 11-1, so I'm happy with Scorn as far as playing it in the small pond that I'm playing it in. But I wouldn't take it to a tournament.
All right, so that's all the questions I've got. You got anything else?
One last question. If you had to choose one game from Mark III that has been currently either the funnest or has been is either your favorite or has been the most fun, which game would you choose?
A game of Warmachine and Mark III that's been the most fun. The first time that I put Makita 2 with Ferox and enough stuff to support them, keep them from being killed on the table, and saw how cool it was to play models that were nearly unkillable. That was probably it. Ferox backed up by 3 shield guards, Tiberian, a Sentry, and a Brute, and a Kriya, and Makita's deflection spell. It's kind of hard to take them off the table. And they're tough from a will breaker, and she has stay death. So good luck.
All right. So, Gary, what do you got for us? You got anything else you want to tell the fans that they might not know about what the fort is?
I hadn't really thought about that. I'm not sure. I just an old fart who likes playing games. They kind of keep me young, make me think. I'll be doing this until they roll me over into the grave.
All right.
Which hopefully isn't too soon from now.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully it's at least a couple more years.
Yeah. What's the biggest piece of advice you can give to, some of our viewers? Like if you had to bestow a piece of wise information, what would that information be? Don't
focus on the lists, the models, and the forums. Play for yourself. Try everything. Play as many different people as you can. And one of the most important things is seek out players that are better than you. Seek out the best possible person. And I don't mean necessarily the best possible person, like don't look for Murderous Eraser or whatever, but seek out the best player that you're able to find that you can play, and try to learn from them. Don't get hung up on losses. You're going to lose. You're going to lose a lot, but you're learning every time you lose. Some people get hung up on why am I not winning, or why can't I win, or what am I doing wrong? Well, what am I doing wrong is a good question, but every one of those other questions is just whiny. Play the best you can, and play against the best you can, and take lessons from it. I guess that's it.
And have fun, right?
Definitely have fun. I mean, there's no reason to play these games if you're not having fun.
I mean, having fun is an option. Let's be serious.
I don't think so. I mean, really, would you play these games if you didn't look forward to them and have fun and enjoy it? I know that I would.
No, actually, I wouldn't. There's no way.
So definitely have fun. But for me, having fun means playing games with people I like and getting better and learning something. And I'm always trying to learn something in every game that I've ever played. and this game is no exception. And I think the best way to learn is to take as many opportunities as you can to find someone you can learn from.
Nice.
Is that it?
Well, that's all I've got.
That's all I got, Gary. So that was it. If you have any follow-up questions for Gary or Forts, whichever you want to call him, you can post it on our Facebook. Other than that, thank you guys very much for joining in another episode of Turn Extension. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
Sure thing.